My name is Susan Ma, and I'm a photographer and a social worker. Well, I grew up in a very artistic family. My father was an architect. My mom studied art in college, and she was kind of a dilettante artist. My brother is a fine art painter. My sister is an interior designer. So art was always a big part of our lives. Early on, I was definitely inspired by my father. So because he was an architect, I mostly took architectural photography. It was a lot about shape and form and color, and I did a lot of abstractions. My favorite photographer is Deanne Arbus, who does portraits. The class in itself and the photographers that I studied had a huge impact on me. Then as I got into working towards my MFA, I really started to bring my interest in social work and psychology into my projects. I see a lot of horrible things, I hear a lot of horrible things, and it upsets me. I feel angry that these things go on in our society generation after generation after generation, and that so little is being done to address it. We are the wealthiest nation in the world. We completely have the resources to solve these problems, and yet we don't. And we choose money over people. We choose corporations over individuals, and it's an outrage. You know, I felt like I wanted to talk about that, and so This American Dystopia is a social, political critique of American society in its current state. I think art is just a necessity. I mean, just like I think healthcare is a necessity for everyone, I think art is a necessity for our society. You know, it's educational, it's cultural, and it serves so many purposes. I mean, it can be therapeutic for the people who are creating the art. It can be therapeutic for the people who are viewing the art. It can be therapeutic for the people who participate in it, like people who modeled for my Lost project. You know, I had a woman whose son had been killed in an auto accident, and she was just grief-stricken. And I gave her the photograph after we did the shoot, and she couldn't even hang it on her wall. She just kept it under her bed for a few years. And then a few years later, she took it out and she hung it up, and she said, you know, that really helped me, you know, kind of process things. So I think art has a highly therapeutic value. And then just from pure aesthetics and beauty, I mean, art makes a town more appealing, more attractive. It attracts tourists. It puts cities on the map, you know. We all go to Paris and see the Mona Lisa, you know. So art, I don't know, I feel like it kind of defines us in a way, because it's a reflection of the society that we live in, and it's telling a story about the people. So sometimes that's a beautiful story, and sometimes it's an ugly story, but I feel like both stories need to be told. This American Dystopia project, there's 75 images in the collection. About 7% of them come from Mississippi, and then about 15% of them come from the Mid-South area. And so I did take quite a few pictures of the South, and I think a lot of it shows that inequity that I'm talking about. You know, I came from California in the Bay Area and Silicon Valley, and I mean, it's a very wealthy community. There's a lot of investment in, you know, business, in education, in healthcare. I mean, Mississippi didn't even vote to expand Medicaid. In California, the Medi-Cal system there is actually quite excellent. And the fact that you can live in one state and then live in another and not have the same kind of care, I mean, why is that? We're all Americans. I would love to still be living where I'm living, in my beautiful house in Oxford. And then I'm always interested in just, you know, evolving as a person, trying to be the best person I can be, trying to be a better photographer, trying to be a better therapist, trying to be a better human. I have a website, Susan Ma Photography, and you spell Ma, M-A-H.